Hello everyone, my name is Nidhi Chauhan. I am assistant professor in Suresh Gandy School of Pharmacy. So today in this pharmaceutical organic chemistry section, we are discussing the topic phenol. So it's the topic phenol. The learning objective will be today we are going to study about the chemical reactions of phenols. So the chemical reactions are occurring in phenols by the two different types. One, it is involving the OH group, and the secondly, it is involving the aromatic ring. And to learn about the product that are formed from this chemical reaction of phenol. So student outcome. Here, they are going to know about the chemical reactions of phenol, how the product are formed from the phenol, how the benzene ring is involved in this process, in this chemical reaction of phenol. So in this, the second reactions, that is your reaction involving the aromatic ring. In this, the reaction, firstly, in the last slides, we have studied about the reactions that is involving the OH functional group in this phenol, because phenol is having the OH group on it. So today we are discussing the reaction that are involving this aromatic ring. So in the aromatic ring in phenol generally undergoes electrophilic substitution reaction, in which the hydroxyl group is a powerful activating group, and hence phenol readily undergo electrophilic substitution reaction. So in this, the aromatic ring in the phenol, it is undergoing electrophilic substitution reaction. It means the phenols, in the phenols, the aromatic rings undergo electrophilic substitution reaction. So in electrophilic substitution reaction, there is a removal of hydroxyl group, whole hydroxyl group from there, and the something other molecule will substitute on the place of this hydroxyl group. So in this, the hydroxyl group is a powerful activating group, and hence phenol readily undergo electrophilic substitution reaction. So here hydroxyl group is acting as a activating group, means it is acting as an electron donating group. So here it is, in this the phenol is undergoing electrophilic substitution reaction. Phenol is more reactive than benzene. So here it is shown that phenol is more reactive than benzene towards electrophile reagents, and because there is an interaction between the lone pair on the oxygen atom in OH or O and the ring, because there is a presence of a lone pair on this OH group and the ring, which increases the availability of electrons in the aromatic ring. Here there is a availability in the of electron in the aromatic ring. Also, it directs the incoming group to ortho and para position, and it also directs the groups that are substituted on the ortho and the para position. So here the reaction, the OH group, due to the OH group, which is the activating group that is activating the substituents on the ortho and the para position. So here these positions become electron rich due to the resonance effect caused by the OH group. So OH group, because on the ortho and the para position, there is a electron rich, means there are electron present on it, and if the electrons are present in it, it means that is the nucleophile position, and the electrophiles are attacking on this nucleophile position. And in this reaction, an electrophile electron loving species attack the benzene ring. So here the electrophiles that needs electron, that is lacking of electron, they need electrons, so they attack the benzene ring where there is a where the benzene ring is having more electrons, and they have the electron donating capacity. So here from the benzene ring, due to which the benzene ring, there is a replacement of one of the hydrogen atom. Since the ortho and para position of the phenol are electron rich, So here, due to this OH activating group, the ortho and the para position of the phenol are very electron rich. The substitution take place at these positions. So here the substitution is mainly taking place at this um, at this uh, at this position. So here you can say, see in this example, in this structure, that OH, that phenol is having the positive charge, OH group is having the positive charge, and this ring, benzene ring, which is the dotted circle in the benzene ring, showing that there is a resonance in the benzene ring, and it is showing that it is having the negative charge. So the electrophile is attacking to this ortho position and the para position, which is having electron rich on its carbon. So here you can see that is equivalent to, shown here, OH and ortho, meta and the para position, and on the ortho and the para position there is a electron rich, so the substituent or the electrophile will attack to this position. Next is the common electrophile aromatic substitution reaction taking place in phenol are as follows. So the common reactions, the electrophilic substitution reaction that are taking place in this phenol are as follows. The first one is your halogenation. The first reaction is your halogenation reaction. In this, we are halogenation means there is an attack of, there is a substitution of halogen on this benzene ring. So the OH group in phenol can donate electron back to the delocalized pi system, helps to stabilize the intermediate of electrophilic substitution, and so making phenol much more reactive than benzene. So here this OH group in this phenol molecule, they are donating electrons to the delocalized pi system. So here the electron substitution, they are stabilizing the ring. So this phenol is more reactive than the benzene. So it will react immediately with bromine water. If we are reacting phenol with the bromine water, so the phenol will immediately react with it and decolorize it, and forming a white precipitate of 2,4,6 trifluorophenol. So here, when the phenol is reacting with this bromine water, there is a decolorization of this bromine water, and there is a formation of white precipitates, and there is a formation of 2,4,6 tribromophenol. So the product form will be 2,4,6 tribromophenol. Next, if bromine water is added to a solution of phenol in water, if bromine water is added to a solution of phenol in water, the bromine water is decolorized and a white precipitate is formed. So in this, if bromine water is added in the phenol solution, the bromine water is decolorized and a white precipitate is formed. Same, it is reacting, or if the bromine water is adding to this phenol solution, then there is a formation of this white PPT. The usual halogenation of benzene take place in presence of Lewis acid. So this reaction usually occur in presence of Lewis acid, that is your ferric bromide, which polarizes the halogen molecule, and there is a faster reaction in water, which is due to the phenoxide ion. So here the reaction is faster due to the phenoxide ion. Next, you can see the reaction. In case of phenol, the polarization of bromine molecule take place even in the absence of Lewis acid. So in case of phenol, there is no need of Lewis acid, and it is due to the highly activating, because the OH group is highly activating. So attached to the benzene, so chlorine in absence of solvent gives 2,4-chlorophenol, and bromine in a non-polar solvent, non-polar solvents involve CS2 or your carbon tetrachloride, that is giving you 2,4-bromophenol. So in the first reaction, you can see the phenol is reacting with this bromine water, and there is a formation of 2,4,6 tribromophenol, and there is a formation of HBr. So this tribromophenol is the white crystalline, and it has no color. It decolorize this bromine water. Next is bromination can be limited to monobromination to give mainly 4-bromophenol using low temperature and less polar solvents such as carbon disulfide. So here bromination can be limited when this phenol is reacting with this bromine in the presence of non-polar solvent. If we are taking non-polar solvent, then there will be a formation of monobromination. So here and at a low temperature. So the other product might be a minor quantity. So the product here, two products are formed. The one is your major and the second one is your minor. So here bromination can also be limited. Means the monobromination is formed in the presence of your non-polar solvent, and when phenol is reacting with this bromine, and the two products are formed. One is your major and the second one is your minor. Next is your nitration of phenol. So in the nitration of phenol, you can see the phenol can be nitrated with dilute sulfonitric acid. So here we are reacting this phenol with this dilute nitric acid, and here monosubstitute compound is obtained with dilute nitric acid at room temperature, and phenol react with dilute nitric acid at room temperature to give a mixture of 2-nitrophenol and 4-nitrophenol. So here you can see that when phenol is nitrated with dilute nitric acid, there is a formation of mono-substituted nitro compound, and at room temperature. So here you can see phenol react with dilute nitric acid at room temperature. There is a mixture of two compounds. So here one is your 2-nitrophenol and the second one is your 4-nitrophenol is formed. Next is your with concentrated, that we are using the dilute. In the last slide, you can see here nitration. We are using here the dilute HNO4. But in case of in the next reaction, there is a concentrated nitric acid. So here this dilute nitric acid is at room temperature is formed, and here the nitric acid in the next reaction, in the next nitration, there is a formation of concentrated HNO4 in the presence of in your phenol molecule, which is reacting with the concentrated HNO4. There is a formation of your 2,4,6 dinitrophenol. So here the picric acid is obtained readily with the formation with the reactant phenol as well as the concentrated HNO4, and there is a removal of water molecule also here. You so here third reaction is your acylation and carboxylation. So in your acylation, esters of phenols are obtained on treatment with anhydrous aluminum chloride, which further reacting with Lewis acid like AlCl3, that is your aluminum chloride, that is yielding ketones of phenol. That is also known as Fries rearrangement. So here acylation and carboxylation, you can see when the esters, this we have taken the ester CH3COOCOCH3, this is your ester, and this ester when is obtained here esters is obtained COCH3, this is your esters, and it is obtained by the treatment of phenol with your aluminum chloride, which further treated with Lewis acid, and A is AlCl3, which yields ketones of phenols. So here we are treating this ester of phenol with this Lewis acid, and there is a formation of your ketone. This is known as Fries rearrangement also. So here you can see this ester from this ester CH3COOCOCH3. Here this is having the negative charge. This is having the negative charge, and here this OH is having the this here this first attack to this position on the benzene. After that, in the presence of Lewis acid, there is a formation of this orthohydroxyacetophenone, which is your ketone. Next is your Kolbe reaction. So in Kolbe reaction, you can see on reaction, sodium salt of phenol with carbon dioxide, orthohydroxybenzoic acid is formed as the main product. So in the Kolbe reaction, the salt of phenol, sodium salt of phenol is treating with the carbon dioxide gas. There is a formation of orthohydroxybenzoic acid is formed as the main product. So in the Kolbe, phenol is reacting with the sodium hydroxide. There is a formation of sodium salt. And when the sodium salt is reacting with the carbon dioxide, there is a formation of your sodium salicylate. And this sodium salicylate is again transforming, is acidified, and is salicylic acid is formed. So the temperature used here is 400 degree K, and a pressure of 4 to 7 atmosphere is required. So here you can easily see, firstly we have to obtain a sodium salt of phenol, and after that there is a reaction of carbon dioxide with it. There is a formation of orthohydroxybenzoic acid, and after our main product. So salicylic acid is also known as orthohydroxybenzoic acid, and the temperature required is 400 degree K, and a pressure of 4 to 7 atmosphere is required, and sodium salicylate formed is, which is acidified, yielding salicylic acid. So here you can see the sodium salicylate is then acidified, which is here. This OH is having this OONA. This is a sodium salicylate, and this sodium salicylate then acidified and is forming the salicylic acid. In the next reaction, you can see the Fries reagent. So in the Fries reagent, just we have done in the last slides also, the Fries rearrangement. So in your Fries rearrangement enables the preparation of acyl phenol. So in the Fries rearrangement enables the preparation of acyl phenol. The reaction is catalyzed by branched or Lewis acid, such as your HF, AlCl3, BF3, TiCl4, SnCl4. So here hydrofluoride, aluminum chloride, barium fluoride, titanium chloride, stannous chloride, they are all the Lewis acid. So the acid are used in excess of the stoichiometric amount, especially the Lewis acid, since they form complexes with both the starting material and the product. So here they should be used in stoichiometric amount. So here you can see this acyl phenol is reacting with this Lewis acids, and in Lewis acid, there after that there is a formation of your product. The product get acylated, and on the ortho position. You can see here this O is removed. After that, this COR. So here ketone molecule is formed. Just like the third reaction we have done. So in the third reaction also there is a product of ketone is formed. Here also there is a formation of your ketone molecule. Next reaction is your coupling reaction. So in your coupling reaction, you can see phenols from azo compounds by coupling with aryl diazonium salt in presence of alkyl. So here we have taken your phenyl diazonium chloride. Firstly, the phenol is reacting with this phenyl diazonium chloride. This NCl, this is your diazonium. So here NN is your diazonium and Cl is attached. That's why it is known as phenyl diazonium chloride. So when this phenyl diazonium chloride is reacting with this phenol in the presence of your NaOH, that is your sodium hydroxide, that is your alkali, and then it's acidified, there is a formation of your para-hydroxyazobenzene. So here there is a formation of para-hydroxyazobenzene. Next reaction is your Gattermann reaction. So in your Gattermann reaction, introduction of CHO group to the ortho position ortho position of this OH group, and treating it with your HCN, HCl, and zinc chloride that are acting. Zinc chloride is acting as a catalyst. This reaction, this catalyst is known as Gutterman. So this reaction is known as Gutterman reaction. So here the CH group is introduced to the ortho position of this OH group, and we are treating this phenol in the presence of this hydrogen cyanide plus your hydrochloric acid, and zinc chloride is acting as a catalyst, and hydronium ion is also used, and after that there is a formation of orthohydroxy benzaldehyde. On the ortho position there is your phenol group, oh sorry, the ortho position there is a OH group is attached, and on the CHO group this aldehyde is present, and OH is having less priority than the CHO group. That is why CHO is acting as a main functional group. So that is why it is numbered, hydroxy group is numbered as O hydroxy benzaldehyde. This reaction is used for formylation of aromatic ring. If we are doing formylation of aromatic ring, then we are using this reaction. Next is your Landerer-Manners reaction. So in your Landerer-Manners reaction, when phenol is treated with 40% aqueous solution of formaldehyde, so the for aqueous solution of formaldehyde is known as formalin. So when we are treating this phenol with this 40% aqueous solution of the formaldehyde in the presence of dilute acid or alkali at low temperature, a mixture of ortho and para hydroxy benzyl alcohol is formed. So here you can see that the phenol is reacting with this formaldehyde solution at sodium hydroxide, and this there is a formation of two compounds. One is your ortho and the second one is your para. So here on the ortho position, the hydroxy is attached, and on the para position hydroxy is attached, and its name is para hydroxy benzyl alcohol. So here, and one is your ortho hydroxy benzyl alcohol. So benzyl alcohol is the main name, and the hydroxy is your substituent. So so there is a formation of two molecules, mixture of two molecules, that is ortho and the para hydroxy benzyl alcohol. So this reaction is called Landerer-Manners reaction. So this reaction in which we are taking phenol with the 40% aqueous solution of formaldehyde in the presence of dilute acid or alkali at low temperature, and there is a formation of two mixture of products, ortho and the para hydroxy benzyl alcohol. This reaction is called Landerer-Manners reaction, and on heating these compounds condenses with themselves and give linear polymers by elimination of water. So in this case, if we are heating these molecules, then there is a formation of a linear polymer. Here the polymer is formed, which is a chain. So here a chain of these molecules, the water is evolved out from here, and there is a formation of this chain, which is a linear polymer, and a polymer is formed from this reaction. So this reaction, which is known as Landerer-Manners reaction, in which phenol is treating with the formalin solution in the presence of your base, that is a sodium hydroxide, and there is a formation of two products, that is the para hydroxy benzyl alcohol, and secondly is your ortho hydroxy benzyl alcohol. And when we are heating it, when we are condensing it, then there is a removal of water molecule, and there is a formation of your linear polymer molecule. Next, these reactions are the basis of the preparation of phenyl formaldehyde resins. So here from this reaction, there is a formation of your phenol formaldehyde resin also from these reactions from this reaction. And the material, these material were developed by Backlund. So these are the materials. These polymers or your resins are developed by the Backlund and are hence called bakelites. And these products are known as bakelite. They are thermoplastic solids soluble in many organic solvents. So these thermoplastic solids are soluble in many organic solvents, and when they are warmed with hexa methylene tetramine, which split up to formaldehyde and ammonia. A further methylene bridge are formed and a three-dimensional polymer results. So here, when these bakelites are, they are known as bakelites, and when these are the thermoplastic solid solubles. These are the thermoplastic solid solubles and soluble in many organic solvents. So these thermoplastic solids are soluble in many organic solvents, and when we are warming them with your hexamethylene tetramine, so up, they split into the formaldehyde as well as in the ammonia. And further methylene bridge are formed. After that, the methylene bridge are formed, and there is a three-dimensional polymer results. So there is a formation of a polymer, three-dimensional polymer is formed. Next is your Riemann-Tiemann reaction. Riemann-Tiemann reaction. So this process of formulation of phenol with chloroform in alkali solution is known as Riemann-Tiemann reaction. Here we are doing the formulation of this phenol in the presence of your chloroform in alkaline solution, that is your NaOH aqueous NaOH solution, that is known as your Riemann-Tiemann reaction. So in this, the phenol is reacting with the this chloroform in the presence of your aqueous NaOH at your 60 degrees centigrade, and there is a formation of a mixture of products, the ortho and your para aldehydes. So here phenol react with chloroform in the presence of sodium hydroxide, or we can take the potassium hydroxide. Both are the alkaline solution, both are the alkalis. We can use any of them. So here this solution is followed by your acidification, and they give hydroxy aldehyde solution. So after that, they give the acidification to give hydroxyaldehyde. So there is a mixture of two compounds, orthohydroxy and the para-hydroxy. As the name, you can see from in respect to this this hydroxy group, the CH, this respect to this CH group, that is your aldehyde. The oxy OH group is acting as a ortho position, is attached to the ortho position. So its name is orthohydroxy benzaldehyde. Secondly, in respect to this benzaldehyde, the hydroxy is on the para position. So its name is para hydroxy benzaldehyde molecule. So its mechanism, how this phenol is reacting with this chloroform. So in this, you can see here we have taken potassium hydroxide alkali or your alkaline solution. So when this chloroform is in the presence of your KOH, in this you can see when this hydrogen is abstracted from the carbon on which this three Cl groups are attached, chloro groups are attached, then the hydrogen is abstracted from the carbon, then the carbon will contain the negative charge, and the carbon is having the negative charge, and this carbon will take the will withdraw from this position, and there is a formation of your carbanion. And you can see this carbon is having the lone pair of electrons. So so here when this phenol is reacting with this KOH, so there is a formation of the phenoxide ion. So this phenoxide ion the resonance started in this. So when this resonance started from this negative charge, um, where the carbon is oxygen is attached to the carbon atom, carbon will withdraw electron from this oxygen, and after that this where the double bond is present between this carbon, first and two carbon, then this double bond is shifted, then this double bond is shifted, and it is having the lone pair of electron, it is having the electron, so it will attach to the second carbon, ortho carbon of this ring, of this benzene ring. So here you have seen that the uh, hydrogen is hydrogen is removed and the bond is shifted from this here, and there is a double bond, and there after that the hydrogen is moved from there. You can see the oxygen is getting the negative charge. After that this carbon is attached, and this hydrogen is abstracted from the carbon position, and this hydrogen is having the positive charge, and the positive charge of this hydrogen then will attracted by the negative charge that is present with the carbon, which is having the 2Cl atoms. So this H is again form bond with the carbon, which is having the negative charge. So here in the seventh number of structure, you can see the hydrogen abstracted from this carbon and then attached to the carbon, which is having the lone pair, which is having the electrons. That is why, and the hydrogen is not having the electron, it is having deficiency of electron. That is why it get attached to the carbon, which is having the chlorine. After that, in the presence of pure alkali solution, you can see the hydrogen again then is attached to this oxygen that is having the negative charge. So after that there is a OH. So here chlorine will abstracted from here. This chlorine will abstracted from here, and the OH molecule will attach to this carbon position, and there is a formation of OH molecule. After that the OH molecule, this OH comes from this KOH. KOH ionizes, and the K contain the positive charge, and the OH will get the negative charge. So the chlorine, when abstracted from there, it will take the electron from there, and the carbon will take the carbon will here the carbon will become positive charge. So here carbon when become the positive charge, when this Cl will withdraw the electron, then this positive charge will attracted by this OH negative. This OH negative is acting as a nucleophile. This nucleophile will attach to this carbon position. So here this again this hydrogen from here will abstracted from here, and it will act as a proton or your electrophile, and it will give it electron to this oxygen. So this oxygen then form a bond with this carbon, and after that this chlorine also get abstracted from this position, and here there is a formation of bond. Here you can see COOH bond is formed, and this H that is abstracted from this position is attracted by this H. So here there is a formation of what benzaldehyde, sorry, orthohydroxy benzaldehyde, because CH group is attached to this position, to the first position. Again, when I am summarizing it, I am telling that in this chloroform, in the presence of this KOH, here the carbon is getting the negative charge because this H is removed out from here, and this H from this carbon, this hydrogen is this chlorine again is abstracted from here. So there is a there is an electron that is having more electron. It is having more electrons. This carbon is having a negative charge. So this here is a formation of carbanion. After that, this carbanion, this electron then is attached to the second position of this phenoxide. So this phenoxide is attached to this carbon atom. So this oxycarbon is having the negative charge. Okay, and the negative charge from this phenoxide ion is shifted to this position. And after that, there is a resonance in this structure. Okay, then this carbon is having this hydrogen. Hydrogen will abstract from this second position of the carbon, and then this hydrogen is having the positive charge. It has the electrophile, and this electrophile will get attached to this carbon, which is having the negative charge here. Negative charge. So here the all the carbon have the full valencies, and there again this chlorine in the seventh structure, you can see this chlorine will abstract from here, and there will be a negative charge on this chlorine, sorry, this carbon, this negative charge. Then this KOH will dissociate from here, ionizes, and this K will contain the positive charge and OH will contain the negative charge. This OH will then attach to this carbon, which is having the negative charge, sorry. And after that, this K will attach to this chlorine. After that, there is OH bond when is attached to this carbon. Then there, this H is again abstracted from this position, and it is the proton is then attached by this oxygen, which is act as electrophile, and is this H is acting as an electrophile. So electrophile need electron, and this oxygen is donating electron. So both of them needed each other. So here there is a formation of bond, and here this bond from this OH is shifted to this position, and there is a formation of double bond, and this chlorine also abstracted from here. So this carbon valency is full, 1 2 3 4. This carbon valency is full, and this here we will get a orthohydroxybenzaldehyde molecule. So next step, use of carbon tetrachloride in place of chloroform gives salicylic acid. If we are using carbon tetrachloride in place of chloroform, there is a formation of salicylic acid. So here you can see that in case of chloroform, in case of in the last reaction we have used chloroform and we get orthohydroxybenzaldehyde. But in case of here we are using carbon tetrachloride in presence of your sodium hydroxide, and a mixture of ortho and para isomers is obtained, in which the ortho isomers predominate due to more thermodynamically stability. If one of the ortho position is occupied, the para isomer is the major product. So here too a mixture of product is formed, orthohydroxybenzoic acid or your para hydroxybenzoic acid, when we are treating this alcohol with this carbon tetrachloride in the presence of sodium hydroxide, then there is a formation of salicylic acid, you can say, or either two molecules, also orthohydroxybenzoic acid or your para hydroxybenzoic acid. So here in the next step, when anisole is treated with chloroform, when anisole is treated with chloroform in presence of alkali, a commercial edible product, vanillin is used formed as major product. So here we have taken anisole, also hydroxy, and the methoxy group is attached. And when we are treating it with the chloroform in the presence of sodium hydroxide, there is a formation at 60 degrees centigrade. There is a formation of vanillin, and vanillin is an edible product which is used in various bakery products and in various industry, and it is also act as a flavoring agent. And so here you can see the two on the ortho position there is a methoxy group is attached, and on the para position there is a aldehyde group is attached. So here this vanillin is formed. Next is your Hauben-Koch reaction. So in this reactive polyhydric phenol in which OH groups are meta to another may be acylated by treating with alkyl cyanide in the presence of zinc chloride and HCl. So here the phenol reactive polyhydric phenol means here OH groups are attached on the meta position of the phenol. It is treating, we are treating it with alkyl cyanide and in the presence of zinc chloride and HCl and ether. So here there is a formation of phenolic ketone, which this reaction is known as Coben-Hodge reaction, and the product of the reaction is phenolic ketone. So here we can see the phenolic ketone is formed. POR is formed. Next is its mechanism. So here you can see the phenol is reacting with this methyl cyanide, and here you can see the methyl cyanide is attached to the ortho position, and sorry, ortho position, and then it is hydrolyzed, and there is a formation of your phenolic ketone. So from here, NH is removed and OH is attached. NH2 is removed and O is attached. So this is your phenolic ketone. Now the 11th reaction is your condensation with phthalic anhydride. So here phenol, when treating with phthalic anhydride in presence of H2SO4, it gives phenolphthalein. So here we are getting a phenolphthalein, a colorless compound, the phenolphthalein, which is a colorless compound. So here, which produces pink color with alkyl solution. So if we are treating it with the alkyl solution, there is a then it will give the pink color due to the formation of colored sodium salt. So here there is a formation of colored sodium salt. It is a popular indicator used in acid-base titration. So in acid-base titration analysis, we use this phenolphthalein mostly, and in titrations we are using it as an indicator. So here you can see, when we are treating the two molecules of phenol with this phthalic anhydride in the presence of concentrated H2SO4, we are getting this phenolphthalein, which is a colorless or your pale yellow color. And when this phenolphthalein is treating with the sodium hydroxide solution, then there will be a formation of your sodium salt of phenolphthalein, and we are getting the magenta color or the pink color we are getting, and it is used in the acid base titration as an indicator in analysis, pharmaceutical analysis. Next is your oxidation. So phenol is easily oxidized to para-benzoquinone, and similarly hydroquinone on oxidation with silver salt gives para-benzoquinone, and this reaction leads to the use of hydroquinone as a photographic developer. So here phenol, when we are treating this phenol with this oxygen, when the phenol is oxidized with this Neset oxygen in the presence of chromium oxide, and we are getting the para-benzoquinone, and this para-benzoquinone, the reaction leads to the use of hydroquinone as a photographic. So here this hydroquinone is used as a photograph developer. It is used in photography also. You can see this para-hydroxyphenol. Again, it is treating with this. Similarly, hydroquinone. So the second reaction is your hydroquinone, and when we are reacting with this hydroquinone with this silver salt, and we are getting this para-benzoquinone. Here also the same compound is getting. We are getting the same compound, and there is a silver and a water molecule. So under drastic condition, upon oxidation, phenol gives tartaric acid, oxalic acid, and carbon dioxide. So here, if we are treating this phenol with the oxidation in the presence of KMNO4, potassium magnesium oxide, then there is a formation of tartaric acid, your oxalic acid, and your carbon dioxide. So three molecules we are obtaining in the drastic condition of phenol when treating with this tartaric acid, when treating with this, or when treating with the KMNO4, and when we are oxidizing it. Next reaction is your reduction. So in the reduction, you can see the OH group, or reduction means the addition of oxygen or the addition of hydrogen or the removal of oxidation oxygen. And in oxidation, there is a addition of oxygen and the removal of hydrogen. So in the reduction, you can see the OH group is stable, and the catalytic reduction of phenol yield cyclohexanol. So here we are getting the product cyclohexanol, and substituted phenol would be in some fashion form substituted cyclohexanol. So here the two structures are formed. This is the wedge structure, and here phenol is treating with this 3SO. Here we have taken the 3 molecule of hydrogen, and we are treating in the presence of nickel at 150 to 175 degrees centigrade, and there is a formation of your cyclohexanol. So in the second reaction, you can see this is methyl phenol. So when we are treating it with this hydrogen in the presence of nickel at 150 same temperature we are taking. So there is a formation of methyl cyclohexanol. So bonding, the double bond is changing into the single bonds. Here the unsaturated compound is changing into the your saturated compound, transforming from double bond to single bond. Next is your portions. So the first portion is your which reaction can be used to convert phenol to orthohydroxybenzaldehyde. So the options are Sandmeyer reaction, Reimer-Tiemann reaction, Wurtz reaction, Kolbe reaction, and the answer is your B, the Reimer-Tiemann reaction. Next is your Reimer-Tiemann reaction take place in aromatic aldehyde and base, ester having alpha hydrogen, or your phenol and chloroform, and alpha bromoester. So in Reimer-Tiemann reaction, there we are taking phenol and your chloroform. The next question is your which one of the compound will be most readily attacked by an electrophile? So here first is your chlorobenzene, second is your benzene, third is your phenol, D is your toluene. So the answer is your C, phenol. Next is your salicylic acid can be prepared from which of the following reactant? So the answer option is your phenol and chloroform. Phenol, chloroform, sodium hydroxide, phenol, carbon tetrachloride, NaOH, or phenol and carbon tetrachloride. So here salicylic acid can be prepared from the phenol, chloroform, and sodium hydroxide. So fifth option is your which intermediate is involved in Reimer-Tiemann reaction. So in the intermediate that is used in that involved in Reimer-Tiemann reaction is your carbene, free radical, carbocation, carbanion. So the chloroform is converted into the the chloroform is transformed to the carbanion, carbon having the negative charge. So here the sixth question is your reaction of aqueous hydroxide with your chlorobenzene gives which of the following products? It is your orthochlorophenol, parachlorophenol, phenol, or your no reaction. So the answer is your C, that is your phenol. Seventh is your phenolphthalein is obtained by heating phenol with concentrated H2SO4 and which of the following reacted? So the option is your benzyl alcohol, benzene, benzoic acid, phthalic anhydride. So the option is your phthalic anhydride. So here we can obtain phenolphthalein when we are heating phenol in the presence of H2SO4, and here we are taking the 2 molecules of phenol and we are treating it with phthalic anhydride. Next is your sodium benzene sulfonate react with NaOH and then on acid hydrolysis gives which compound? So here option is your phenol, disodium benzaldehyde, benzene, and your benzoic acid. So the answer is your B, disodium benzaldehyde. So here when we are so sodium benzene sulfonate, when it is reacting with this NaOH and on acid hydrolysis it gives disodium benzaldehyde. Next is your bromine react with phenol and decolorize orange color and turn it to which of the colored precipitate. So here it is changed into which precipitate? White precipitate, pink precipitate, blue precipitate, black precipitate. So here we are getting the white precipitate. Then is your bakelite is formed when phenol react with which of the following reactant? So option A is your formaldehyde, your hydrogen, nitric acid, sulfuric acid. So bakelite is formed when phenol react with your formaldehyde. So there is a formation of polymer and it is a thermal solid polymer. So here the question ends. And these are some of the references where you can study this topic. And thank you.